Before we get this video started, I just want to say thank you to our patrons.
Yes, because you guys are awesome, and thank you so much for your support.
All right, let's get the video started. We're back on the East Coast, and I don't like it because my face is leaking everywhere. It's like I don't know what this is anymore. Like, oh, by the way, we're at Williamsburg Thousand Trails, yeah. Williamsburg, Virginia. So we're gonna do some Williamsburg stuff, but we have 3 weeks here. I think the goal is to be able to remodel our garage while we're here. Editing.
What else are we doing this weekend?
Renovations.
How excited are you?
So excited. I am excited about the renovations. It's kind of daunting to think about everything that has to be done to do the dovetail, the holes in the floor, the flooring, the walls, figuring out trim, taking valances off. Like, there's a lot to solve for. I always get like this before a big project. But the projects always turn out good. So I have confidence that we can do it. It's just a matter of making a lot of decisions. Yeah, we found a lot of flooring actually, and there's some decisions to be made there too, because there's a bunch of different colors we like. But it's also, do we want to go really thin and keep it light and flexible, or do we want to go with like the one we want, which matches a lot of very closely matches the rest of the RV, which is a little bit thicker. So having to make some decisions there too.
Well, and the thicker one would add insulation.
That's true.
For the winter time.
But it would add a lot of weight.
It would add a lot more weight.
But at the same time, we're going to be doing, we're purging. When people just keep texting me, we're going to be purging this week as well, and so we might be able to offset some of that weight. So we are hanging lights so that we have some light under the bed to do our flooring.
So we can see.
But we have a lot of things to do before we get to the flooring. Like cleaning this mess up. And wow, this is so much easier.
You gotta pull it a little tighter though. Or no, I guess it's alright. It won't be in our way.
No, because you're going to raise the bed back up.
And then I figured you could hook it to that one and then to that one. And it looks really bright in the camera. It's not.
So what's up everyone? Welcome back to One Strange Adventure. Welcome to the next video. Today's video.
It's remodel day.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. We are, and not that our garage looks bad or anything, it's like still it's kind of homey.
If you don't want to do what we're doing, that's completely fine. Like, this garage is completely livable.
Yep.
It is wonderful the way that it is. We would like to have just a little bit more of a homey feel.
Yeah. That's right.
And make it more us.
So, new floor. New walls.
Well, we haven't gotten stuff to the walls yet.
We're gonna redo the walls. We're gonna take these weird looking upside down nightstands with no doors out.
Yep, and we are getting a new dresser.
From IKEA,
because
of course.
I want one that I can actually anchor down, so we don't have to move it on travel day, to make travel day just a little bit easier.
We'll take the valances down.
We're gonna take the valances down. We're not gonna do the shades quite yet because I haven't found one I want.
We're gonna find those.
So, but what's on there is completely fine. I just don't know what it looks like under the valances. So, but we're gonna take the valances off.
This project seems easy. I have a feeling it's not going to be easy because we're going to also take the dovetail
out of the garage
and make it level so that there's a flat floor all the way back to the doors.
So that you can actually use your desk without it going like this.
Yes. So we'll see how this goes. We're also in a campground, so saw.
I say some campgrounds don't allow you to use a saw, so he's gotta go talk to the office just
next
to make sure.
Next video you see might be kicked out.
Us kicked out. Kicked out for using a saw.
Yeah.
If we can't use it here, we're just gonna mark our measurements and go off property to use the saw.
Make the cuts.
Which is fine. And what else we have?
I know I'm ready to get going.
Yes.
Ready to cut. Ready to we gotta get the stuff out of here. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as you put one thing out of place on an RV, it's disaster. So moving everything out of the garage into the front area, it's a disaster. But it's going to be until you get it done and get everything kind of moved back in. So just keep that in mind. Just try not to worry about the mess as hard as it is. Don't worry about the mess until you're done. It's actually better than I thought because we still have a walkway and our dehumidifier. By the way, the dehumidifier is one of our favorite RV accessories now. We're going to be doing a video talking about our accessories at some point. But yeah, everything's in here now. The garage is empty. Time to start tearing it apart.
Okay, so step 1 is done.
Clean the garage out.
Emptying the floor. So you don't have to do this. We've done rooms at our house before where we've literally just moved things to one end of the room.
You kind of chase it around the room.
Yeah. So whatever side you're starting on, move everything on the opposite wall and then start on that side. And then as you work towards that stuff, you can move it over. Mm-hmm. But because we don't
like to move it.
Because we don't have a whole lot of stuff, it was just easier for us just to move it out. So we have everything right there where my desk hole is at, which is really nice because if we would have had the table still there, that would have not been possible.
Yeah.
So only thing that's really out in the open is my dresser.
I think this is the first time our garage has been empty since we bought it.
Yeah. Well, no, because even in our walkthrough, it had the table,
and the ladder,
and
the stairs, and the ladders,
and all of that in
our chair. Well, didn't have our chairs.
So this is the first time that nothing's in on our floor except for the Dyson and the broom.
Yeah.
Like first time we've ever had like a clean slate.
Hello. It's a big room.
It is a big room. So step 2 is going to be taking off the things out of the floor.
Yeah, the floor, and then get this.
Because we actually don't have a toy hauler. We don't have a toy hauler because we don't have toys.
This is a parent hauler.
Yeah. So we're actually going to get rid of the D-rings that are in the floor.
Yeah. We don't tow anything.
Because we don't tow anything. And then
we got the e-bikes, but we can
if we were,
get a little bike rack.
If we were going to tow something, all we would need to do is do the D-rings that are thicker so that they can go back in the same holes. So people have done this and put the D-rings back in. They just have to get the thicker. So that's our next step, and then we're going to fill the holes up with the spray foam.
Yep, and sand it down so that the holes are sealed.
Yeah, and then we're going to get rid of the table leg. Because if y'all don't know where the Happy Jacks are couches, it comes with this big table.
That goes between the sofas.
Two couches. And most people use that as their work area, and then a lot of people that have the super sofa in the living room will actually use that as their dinner table for back here. So it is all up to you on how you live. So if you wanted those to be back, then of course you could just drill the holes in the floor, in the new floor, and add them. But we're not doing that because we don't need them.
Yep.
So step 2 is
get the D-rings and the things off the wall.
Yep.
Because it comes down on the wall and then it kind of comes into the floor a little bit. The metal siding, the diamond plated kick plate, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and like you could actually leave that there and put the flooring on top of it if you wanted to leave the metal up. We are not, because we're going to be doing some.
We want to get the black out of here. Like dark colors make it feel like a confined space, and light colors open a room up. So we want this to be a really light space, but we actually got some flooring that you'll see in a little while that closely matches the rest of the RV, so that it looks like it continues into the garage. And then we're going to do some colors to match our living space.
Yes, and if you are considering doing this, please consider weight, because the flooring, to redo the floor, it's heavy.
We had to do 6 boxes.
6 boxes.
That's pretty heavy.
Which we'll let you know if we actually use all 6, because we measured 13 by 8 and we have that little punch out. So it might not actually be 6 boxes.
Right.
But we'll let you know. But that's still, 30 pounds a box?
That would be at least 180 pounds of weight added. But next weekend, we're going to be doing the reverse. We're adding weight this weekend. we're going to be purging next weekend.
Well, and we're taking the metal off the walls. We're taking the metal out of the floor, so that is going to alleviate some of the weight.
I just moved 300 pounds out of the garage with that washer and dryer.
I think he's on board to getting rid of the washer and dryer.
I mean, we don't use it. We honestly don't. We've been using campground.
Because we haven't had full
Washers.
hookups.
I know.
So we've been using campground washers.
Do we carry it around with us? Do we not? I don't know.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It doesn't matter to me.
It's really nice when we have full hookup, but
Right.
we can't drain.
Extra floor space, less weight, or be able to wash your clothes when you do have a full hookup, because it fills our back tank up in like 2 cycles. All right, let's get to work. Let's see what we're getting into, because I'm sure it's going to be more than we're thinking. Ryobi, look at that. With the drivers.
Let me see.
Got all this extra stuff with with impact drivers. I got these extra tools, and they're also made for the impact because they have the little notch out right there, which allows me to just flip it in and easily connect and disconnect. So I like it. Subfloor and then insulation. You can actually see the insulation from the underbelly there. So we're just going to fill it up with foam. But it gives the foam at least something to have a backing on. Oh, it's the floor where they actually drill through.
I think the D-rings are going to be a little harder because they're in the frame.
It is the frame. So, good news, guys. These are in the frame.
50%. Does it let it expand? We can add more if we need to.
You got a spray bottle of water? All right, so we put foam, just the gaps and cracks, great stuff, foam, into the holes that we created by taking the D-rings out. So now you missed them to actually accelerate the drying process, so I went ahead and did that. It's all expanding now, so what I have to do is get my little saw and just saw it off flat so that I can...
Yeah, I figured we could work on the walls.
Yep.
While we waited for that to dry.
Yeah, so we'll do the walls and then saw it flat and then start working on that ramp in the back. Off to the next project, next step in the project.
So that was step 2. Step 3, remove the walls.
Yay.
It's hard to do without getting that foam.
Look at that. First piece gone. already a difference in the wall with the black on. It looks different, totally different already in that one corner.
This wall goes behind the wall Happy Jack system. And it's just one big piece of metal or aluminum. So it's actually like stuck on the wall because of the Happy Jack. So Harold had to remove some of the bolts on the Happy Jack system itself so that it would be off the wall, release the tension. So we'll record some of that on the next one so that you can see what that entails, just in case you want to do something like this. And then since it's one big piece, that top bar is actually like doubled over to give it like a trim. So he's gonna go get his shears so we can cut that to make it a little bit easier to get from behind the Happy Jack system. I'll rip off your shirt.
That's all right. We'll foam it. Did it pull it out? Did it just pull my little snow cone out? Aww.
Yep, just like that.
Today's episode brought to you by Ryobi.
Not really.
Not really, but Ryobi has a special going on right now. If you buy a pack of batteries, you actually get something for free, which is pretty nice. And it's the newer batteries. They're like 4 amp hours. They're supposed to last a lot longer, 18 volt. And we have all Ryobi tools because my mother-in-law works for Home Depot. So that's what I've collected. All right, so we got this. We got air pump that's supposed to go up to 120 PSI for free.
150.
150 PSI for free. And then we also got a Ryobi vacuum because we needed one for the truck and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna open this and use the batteries. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, today, and today only, you get 2 batteries. There's one. Dos. And there's more. A charger that I'm probably going to tear up trying to get out of the box. The Happy Jack system is bolted over top of this paneling. The paneling is one sheet, basically, that's going behind these. So I have to take a couple bolts out here, just on the bottom, so that I can actually pull it out from behind it. And then there's 2 bolts right under here that is right beside the chain holder, chain wheel, that have to come out really close. There we go. So we're really close to that wheel. And so now that allows me to pull it up just enough to pull that sheet from behind it and then put the bolt back in so the bed's supported. But it's got some more bolts up top, so I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah, this is, and as long as you don't mess with the wheel.
Yeah, you don't want to adjust anything.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to take these plates off. I did on the first one, not knowing if there was a bolt behind it, but it's just those. We're down to the 2 last pieces of wall of those plating that's on the inside of the wall, but we think it actually I think this is locked. Yep, we think there's some screws over by the gate on the outside of the garage, so I got to put the back hatch down. Baby, can you give me the keys? The back is locked. The problem I have with it is that the sight is basically going to put the ramp in the door. I mean, the ramp into the road.
So we're just gonna have to be careful, and hopefully somebody comes by and they come by really slow and run out. I think there's like 2 or 3 each. So we'll see. All right, we're getting ready to take a break for lunch, but what I wanted to tell you, that side right there, getting the metal from behind the door was a pain, because obviously they put the metal in and then they did the doors because there were some screws behind it. So, but we got it. But we got to make sure we.
For our neighbor.
Yeah, thank you to our neighbor who is an RV tech. He came and helped us out, gave us a couple tools that we made the job a little bit easier. But we are done with taking the D-rings out of the floor. We've shaved off the foam so that there's no hole underneath the floor. We filled in a few gaps over here on the wall itself, and then we got all of the metal off. So it's starting to look a little more residential back here.
Yeah, the next step, dovetail.
Dovetail, got to build the dovetail so that the floor is flat all the way back, and then we can lay flooring. I think we can get this done today. This piece right here actually comes in and swings in when the door is opening. So you got to leave a little bit of a gap. Otherwise, it'd be nice if you could just put the wall right up to it, or the floor right up to it, but unfortunately you can't. So you have to leave a little bit of a gap. So what we have to consider is how far does this go out, but we also want a backer plate on this to make it look pretty from the outside. So we got to figure out where that door kind of swings in, how much room to leave so that we can put a board on the backside too. What I have to do is actually try to get this board back here flat and then make the wedge so that the floor can extend back and actually be flat all the way as far as it'll go. And that gap right there represents the gap that's needed for the doors to open.
So the question is it level from front to back, or is the back too tall?
Right there. And I bet that's perfect. Yep. That's it right there. Just gotta make sure the door is still open. First 2 ramps on. Okay, I think I'm done cutting wedges. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That'll give me 7 wedges across. We're gonna put the little plywood down and see if it bows any while we're walking, or if I need to cut a couple more wedges to space them out better. But that's what we're doing now. And then Nick and Cindy are loading the flooring in here. It's so pretty. It's gonna look so good.
I have life-proof laminate flooring. It is rubber. Well, it's made out of rubber.
Very durable.
So it's very durable, very waterproof. It's flexible. And if you do not have a saw, you can actually just score it on both sides with a razor blade and pop it, and it will cut on a flat line. It does not work that way when you're trying to like etch out a corner of it, but it works perfectly if you're just trying to cut off like this much of it. So it's really easy to use for people that do not have saws.
Okay, for reference, that is a 2x4 in the back, a full 2x4. The wedges from the back of the 2x4 to the front of the wedge is about 17 7/8. The angle cut side is about 16.5 inches. The bottom is just under 16.5. And then it's a full 2x4 on the back side. Having fun yet?
Yes. I just need you to saw for me.
I'm gonna try to do it with a razor blade. All right, so we have basically finished the dovetail.
Oh yeah, you gotta do the other side.
I gotta do the other board across right there, but we're pretty much done now. We're laying the floor. I don't think it's definitely not going anywhere. I can tell you that.
He went overboard with,
okay.
with the
It's all right.
screws.
It's okay. This thing, it's gonna have an earthquake going down the road. I want it to not be like shifted when we get in here.
The fun part's gonna be around that wall.
In the door. Might even have to take those steps up.
We are gonna have to take the steps up and the trim
Yep.
from around it.
Yep. I was already thinking it.
But we can wait until we get there.
Boo. Now we gotta fill in that spot with some plywood. How you liking it so far?
I like it. I'm
Yeah.
a little worried about the door side, but
Yeah. Yeah, ours is a little unique because it has that punch out too for the side patio. But we'll work around it. I mean, we've done some weird shaped rooms before. A little bit of a change of plans. We noticed that there was some flex that was happening as we walked there, particularly in that area. And we were worried about like right here where in front of the doors, like when you're bringing bikes in and stuff like that. So what I did is I cut the 2x4s, like the negative of what I cut out for the wedge. I basically just cut them down to size and then pulled them up in there until it was level and then screwed them in. And then that way, when we put the board down, they'll have some center support and it's a lot sturdier already. So that worked.
so now I gotta do the other piece of plywood.
Easy solve. Yep. Gotta get the other piece of plywood done and then finish the flooring up. Ryobi vacuum. Battery operated. After a long, grueling day of pulling this stuff off the walls and laying floor, we are done. Day one in the books. We are done with the floor. Doesn't that look so good? I mean, just the black off the walls, the kick diamond plate or whatever, and then the flooring, like that just looks so much better. And then, these lights aren't gonna stay there. Cindy just put these up here so we have some light underneath while we're doing it, but they're kind of cool looking. I don't know if we can make it look a little neater. I think that would be a pretty cool option. But yeah, look, flooring done. Tomorrow we're gonna start the walls. We're gonna do some wainscoting on the bottom half, and then I think we're gonna try wallpaper again. Like, Lord help us. But anyways, we're gonna do some wallpaper. I think these are gonna come out tomorrow. We gotta figure out what we're gonna do up there because those just like, they're hideous. So we're gonna keep working, and yeah, we're gonna take you guys along and show you exactly what we do with the walls next. But I hope you like the floor. Look at that. It looks like a stage. It's pretty cool.